My name is Dr. Jennifer Bell. I practice outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. We're a multifaceted general office. We treat from infants all the way up through elderly patients, and removable actually is a big part of what we do every day. When you practice in the world of removable, anything's fair game. Lots of interesting cases walk in the door, lots of unique challenges. Many times you're coming in after previous doctors have tried to solve problems, or you're trying to replicate things that have already been done for them and they really love them. How do you capture that good information? How do you improve the bad information so that you give patients an outcome that they can really enjoy? And historically, removable prosthetics take an incredibly long time. Most doctors will tell you if a patient walked in tomorrow who wanted a new denture, a new cast metal partial, it might take 3 months to go back and forth between the lab and your office with different try-in appointments, different data capture appointments, so that the lab can refabricate something. Remember, we're making something potentially from scratch, as if I cut off an appendage on your body and then had to somehow reconstruct that. That's really what we're doing in the removable space. We're trying to give them back some semblance of what they used to have, which is a pretty big ask and usually a pretty arduous and long process. I'm a full digital office. I use a ton of different kinds of scanners. We 3D print, we digitally design. Removable's always been this kind of pain point. Still needed to really rely on analog techniques. A lot of the scanners didn't support a very effective digital workflow. So it was just this constant hybrid workflow that we had to sort of live with in this ecosystem where we're constantly still going back to analog, but living in this digital space. We're starting to see that change. So about 5 years ago, I took my first CE course trying to move to a digital workflow with removable. And I was incredibly intrigued, and I could see the power of being able to provide services for patients in a more expedient way, more efficient, and actually more predictable. The problem was the technology in the marketplace didn't really still support that digital workflow. So most doctors that decided they wanted to be a digital removable office were forcing scanners to do things they simply didn't want to do. And they had to come up with all these workarounds and a tremendous amount of patience. And I have plenty of colleagues who quit trying after a while because of the frustration with trying to get the scanners to do something that they inherently didn't want to do, and you're tricking the workflow. But I was pretty determined, maybe to my own demise, but I was very determined. For instance, I really wanted to start data capturing. If I made a denture for a patient that we were all very happy with, they were really excited about, I wanted to capture that data because I've had patients before that will end up in the hospital or something will happen after that. And the worst thing that they can say is, I've lost my denture and all of that intellectual property is now sitting in a waste bin somewhere. So I wanted to capture that as a digital record. I would have patients drop it off for me at the front desk and just leave it there because I didn't know if it'd take me 10 minutes to scan the denture or 4 hours to scan the denture, trying to trick the scanner to do what I wanted it to do. But I was super determined to make this next leap. So fast forward, the iTero Lumina scanner shows up in my office and I get to scan my first denture with that scanner. Lightning fast. Changed the game altogether. I think this is where the marketplace will really see a big difference. This is quite a juggernaut for most doctors that are doing removable in their practice. They want that digital workflow. They want to be able to see a patient in 1 to 2 visits, utilizing digital technology to take them from nothing to something. And now we have that capability, and it's predictable. I could do that before with my previous scanners, but I didn't know if it would take me an hour or 5 hours to get that same information. Now, I know a patient can walk in, I can get a PVS wash impression inside their old denture, capture that data, scan that impression into my iTero Lumina scanner. It's at the dental lab within an hour of that appointment happening in my office, and they're starting to work through the prototype process. So we're consolidating those appointments down. Number 1, reducing the number of visits in the office. Number 2, making the outcomes much more predictable because we're leveraging all the digital platforms together now. And 3, we're getting the efficiency and improved profitability because now I'm not having to ship these prosthetics back and forth. The longer it takes for me to get to a deliverable for a patient, the less profitable I am. If I can scan with my iTero Lumina scanner and get it to my lab and move that patient to final completion of that denture prosthetic within 2 to 4 weeks, That's real money for a practice. For doctors, closing the gap between the day that you agree you want something and the day I can give it to you, that's where the real business of dentistry starts to kick in. I think it's going to change the market.